Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing my labour and delivery story. I actually haven't done a video for quite a while as I ended up going into labour, having my baby, and she's now 2 months old. So I haven't done a video for 2 months, but today I'm going to be doing my labour and delivery story for you guys. So if you're new, like and subscribe down below, and let me know any other video suggestions you'd like me to do about the birth of my child or anything else after the birth of the child. So I have got a book here of everything written down just in case I miss anything out, because obviously it's 2 months ago now, so I'll probably forget some of the stuff and it won't be very detailed. But let's get into the video. So to start off with, I stayed at my boyfriend's house on the Sunday night, and the Monday morning I went to get out of bed to go to the toilet. So it was 5:50 that I went to the toilet, and I just felt like I needed the toilet and nothing else. So I just got up, went to the toilet, and when I wiped there was blood. So straight after I'd finished going to the toilet, I went straight back into the bedroom. I woke up my boyfriend, told him I was bleeding, that I needed to go to the hospital, and then I phoned my mum to give me my hospital number as my blue book was at home. So once I'd got my number off my mum, I then phoned up the hospital straight away, spoke to them, gave all my details and everything, and they told me to come straight up to the hospital as soon as I could. So we left my boyfriend's house, we drove to my house, and we got to my house about 6 o'clock or just after 6, and I got my blue book and everything, and I was told to take up my hospital bag, but I actually didn't because I had been at the hospital before for bleeding and nothing happened. So this time I didn't take it up with me, and I arrived at the hospital in the labour and delivery ward at 6:20 and gave them all my details and my blue book and everything, but I had to wait in the waiting room for a while, which there was no one else in there but us, as the 2 triage rooms were being used at the time. I found that it was very uncomfortable for me to get to sit down, lay down, or anything in the waiting room. So after about 10 minutes the nurse realised that I wasn't very comfortable or anything, and I started to get a bit of back pain. So they took me straight into the labour room and didn't bother doing a triage. I went straight in, and she said that she was going to check me over and put me on monitoring to see if everything was okay with the baby. So they needed a 20-minute pulse of the baby's heartbeat, but they couldn't get a clear reading as I was in so much back pain I couldn't get comfortable laying down or on my side or my back or my stomach or anything. So they then came back in and said that they would leave the heartbeat as they only got about 5 minutes of it, and then they checked me over. They said that I was already 5 centimetres gone. So as the back pain was still there, I said to them, is there anything I can take for my back pain? It was so painful for me to move or anything like that. So they said, I'll try gas and air. I had 1 puff of it and I was like, no, that just made me dizzy. So then I got offered to go down to the Mulberry Ward Centre in Frimley Park Hospital, which is a private ward, and I got offered to go down there and give birth in there. So I could either have a water birth or go in the private room to give birth. And I, at the time, kept feeling like I needed the toilet, so I went to the toilet and she was like, no, you don't need a poo, it's just you starting to get contractions. So we walked down to the Mulberry Centre, and by the time we got down there I was still having back pains. So we got into the private room and we just left. I left all my clothes and everything in there as I went in the birthing pool. So I just wore my black top, my bra, and then I had to take my knickers off when I got down there. And I got straight into the pool once it had heated up, and they kept saying to me, try gas in there, it might help. So I was like, no, it won't work, it's not helping, blah. So I ended up going into the birthing pool as they said that would help with back pain. So I never actually had contractions in my ovaries, it was just my back. Then I'd actually got in the pool around 8:30ish by the time we got down to Mulberry Centre and everything. So from there I was just laying in the pool and I was so tired, getting hungry and everything like that. It was around 8-9 o'clock I was getting hungry, and I said to my boyfriend, have you got your wallet on you? I'm really hungry, I need something to eat. So he said it was down in the car, which we left at my house as we walked up to the hospital. because I live at the back of the hospital. So we walked up, so he didn't have his wallet with him, it was in his car, so they offered to give us some toast and cup of tea and juice and water and everything. So she went and made some toast while I was still in the pool. I was still getting these back pains, and they started to ease down by now, which was about 10 o'clock. So then they made butter on toast, as I didn't want any jam or anything. I had one bite of it, and by the time I got back to it again, it had gone rock hard. So I then had some cup of tea to see if that would help, but then I was just in the pool and I was getting so tired just laying there. The only thing I did have as pain relief was paracetamol, as I had a very high temperature, but other than that, nothing else. So it was around, at this time I was still getting contractions in my back, but I hadn't had, my waters hadn't broke. They were going to let me give birth to Isla in her waters. So it was around 12 o'clock that my waters actually broke, and I was in the pool and I felt a pop, and she had already walked out the room, and I said to my boyfriend, "Oh, my waters have broke, I think they've gone." So he went and got her, brought her back, and by this time I was already going into pushing around 12:30, maybe a bit later than that, and she goes, "Great, now your waters are broke, the process might be a bit quicker." So from 12:40ish onwards I pushed, and then Isla was born at 1:12. So once she was born, we then got out the pool. Well, they emptied the water because of the amount of blood in the pool. Billy cut the umbilical cord, and we went back down to the room. After having my check, I had no cuts or grazes or needed any stitches or anything like that. So by the time we got back to the room, it was about 1:30, and then me and Billy spent some time with the baby by ourselves before my mum and his mum came down with the hospital bag, as I had no other clothes to get changed into. So they had to leave me in a gown until my mum got there. Then about 2:30, I went and had a shower, got changed and sorted myself out. And then about 3 o'clock we had some more food and juice and tea and toast and everything, as we got a bit hungry. And then at around 4 o'clock my nan came down from Oxford. She'd actually come and see me 2 days before I went into labour, and she came in to the hospital, and then my granddad went home for a bit, back to my house with my younger brother and everyone, as they were all still at home. And then just after 4 I had a speak with the midwife and everything, because they speak to you about all different things with the baby, what you may expect, what you might not. And 5 o'clock Alan was already back at mine, and then Billy had to drop his mum back through the hospital gate, as she didn't want to walk back by herself, so she went back home. And then we had me, Billy, my mum and my nan had a couple more drinks and something to eat before we got ready to be discharged home. So by this time I sorted out my suitcase, got ready and everything, and then by 7 o'clock we got discharged, and by the time I had sorted everything out we left by 7:30, and then I got home for 8 o'clock. So that was the end of my labour and delivery. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe for some more, and let me know any other videos that you are interested in me doing for you, about either me or my daughter, or even some family videos. So thank you for watching. Bye!